The sun dipped low, casting a golden glow over the dusty plains. A cowboy Jack rode his horse Rusty along a dirt trail. His hat shaded his weathered face high, scanning the horizon. The air was thick with the scent of sagebrush. Suddenly, a small figure darted from the bushes, startling Rusty. Jack stayed the horse, squinting at the girl running toward him. Her face stray with tears. The girl, no older than 8, wore a tattered dress, her blonde hair tangled. "Mister, please," she sobbed, clutching Jack's stirrup. Her voice trembled with desperation. "You got to follow me home. Something's wrong." Jack's heart clenched at her fear. He dismounted, kneeling to her level. "What's your name, kid?" he asked softly. "Emma," she whispered. "Please hurry." Jack hesitated, glancing at the fading light. He wasn't one for meddling, but Emma's wide, fleeting eyes stirred something in him. "All right, Emma," he said, voice gruff. "Kind. Show me the way." She grabbed his hand, small fingers trembling, and tugged him toward a narrow path. Rusty snorted, trailing behind as they moved quickly through the scrubland. The girl's urgency spurring Jack on the path wound through a dry creek bed. Stones crunching underfoot. Emma's breaths came in gasps, her words spilling out. "It's Ma," she said. "She ain't moving right. I found her on the floor." Jack's jaw tightened. He'd seen hardship out here. Folks left to fend for themselves. "How far is your place?" he asked. "Just over the ridge," Emma replied, pointing to a rise ahead. As they crested the hill, a ramshackle cabin came into view. Its roof sagged and the porch leaned precariously. Jack's gut twisted. This was no place for a child. Emma ran ahead, calling, "Ma." Jack tied Rusty to a post and followed her inside. The air was stale, heavy with dust. A woman lay on a cot in the corner, her face pale, breathing shallow. Emma knelt beside her, sobbing. Jack crossed the room in 3 strides, his boots thudding on the creaky floor. The woman Clara looked frail, her eyes fluttering open. "Emma," she murmured weakly. Jack assessed her quickly, sweat beaded on her brow and her hands trembled. "She's sick," he said, more to himself than Emma. "Been like this 2 days, Emma whispered. "No one else comes." Jack's heart sank deeper. He scanned the cabin. Bare shelves, a single cracked jug of water, and a cold hearth told a grim story. "No food?" Jack asked. Emma shook her head, eyes downcast. Anger flared in Jack. How could a town let this happen? He knelt by Clara, checking her pulse. "Weak but steady. We need a doctor," he said firmly. Emma's face crumpled. "Ain't no doctor for miles," she said softly. Jack stood, his mind racing. He wasn't a healer, just a drifter with a horse and a gun. But Emma's tearful gaze held him fast. "I'll get help," he promised. He stepped outside, unhitching Rusty. "Stay with your ma," he told Emma. She nodded, clutching her mother's hand. Jack mounted up, spurring Rusty toward town. The horizon swallowed the sun, leaving only starlight to guide him. The town of Redstone was a cluster of wooden buildings lit by flickering lanterns. Jack rode straight to the saloon where folks gathered. He pushed through the swinging doors, his presence drawing eyes. "Meet a doctor," he said, voice cutting through the chatter. The barkeep frowned. "Doc's out at the Miller Ranch, won't be back till morning." Jack cursed under his breath, scanning the room. A grizzled man at the bar spoke up. "What's the trouble, stranger?" Jack explained. "Emma, Clara, the cabin." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. "That's Clara Hayes," a woman said. "Husband died last winter. She's been struggling." Jack's eyes narrowed. And no one helped. Silence answered him. He turned to leave, but a young man, Tom, stood. "All right with you," he said. Jack and Tom galloped back under a starlit sky, the wind biting their faces. Tom, a blacksmith's apprentice, carried a satchel of supplies, bandages, herbs, whatever he could grab. "Clara's good folk," Tom said, "just fell through the cracks." Jack grunted, his mind on Emma's tearful face. They reached the cabin where Emma waited, eyes wide with hope. "You came back," she whispered. Inside. Tom knelt by Clara, checking her fever. She's burning up, he said. Jack fetched water from the jug, soaking a rag to cool her forehead. Emma watched, clutching a rag doll. Will she be okay? She asked. Jack met her eyes, forcing a calm he didn't feel. We're trying, kid. Tom mixed herbs into water, coaxing Clara to drink. Her breathing eased slightly, but she was still weak. Jack stepped outside to think. The night was quiet, save for Rusty's soft snort. He'd seen death before, too much of it. But Emma's trust in him, a stranger, hit hard. He couldn't fail her. Back inside, Tom looked grim. She needs real medicine, he said. Doc's got Eldnum at his place. Jack nodded. I'll go. Emma grabbed his sleeve. Don't leave, she pleaded. His heartbroken Newell single quotes but quick, Jack promised, squeezing Emma's shoulder. He rode hard to town, the stars blurring above. Doc's house was dark, but Jack pounded the door until a sleepy man answered. Clara Hayes is dying, Jack said. The doctor, blurry-eyed, grabbed his bag. They rode back together, the doc, muttering about fevers and neglect. Jack's thoughts were on Emma alone with her fear. At the cabin. The doctor examined Clara. Pneumonia, he said. Bad, but not hopeless. He gave her medicine, instructing Emma to keep her cool. Jack watched, feeling useless. Tom stayed busy, stoking the fire. Emma clung to Jack's side, her small hand in his. You're a good man, she whispered. Jack swallowed hard, unsure he deserved it. He just done what was right. Hours passed, the cabin warming as the fire crackled. Clara's breathing grew steadier, her color returning. The doctor nodded, satisfied. She pulled through with rest, he said. Emma threw her arms around Jack, sobbing with relief. He patted her back awkwardly, his throat tight. Tom Grant, you're a hero, cowboy. Jack shook his head. Just passing through, he muttered. Dawn broke, painting the sky pink. The doctor left, promising to check back. Jack and Tom sat on the porch, exhausted. Town's got to do better, Tom said. Jack nodded. Reckon they will now. Inside, Emma curled up beside Clara, asleep. Jack watched them, a warmth spreading in his chest. He'd meant to move on, but this felt like a place to linger, if only for a while. Jack fetched water from a nearby creek, filling the jug. Tom chopped wood, stacking it by the hearth. The cabin felt alive again, hope replacing despair. Clara stirred, her voice weak but clear. Thank you, she told Jack. He tipped his hat, uncomfortable with gratitude. Just look after your girl, he said. Emma smiled, her eyes brighter than the day before. It was enough for Jack. Word spread in Redstone about Clara and Emma. Folks arrived with supplies, blankets, flour, a smoked ham. Jack watched, arms crossed. As the town rallied, a woman apologized for neglecting Clara. Won't happen again, she promised. Jack nodded, believing her. Emma ran to him, holding out her doll. For you, she said shy. Jack chuckled, tucking it in his saddle bag. Jack stayed a few days helping repair the cabin. He fixed the porch, patched the roof. Tom brought nails and lumber, and neighbors pitched in. Clara grew stronger, sitting up to watch. Emma followed, Jack everywhere chattering about horses and stars. He taught her to whistle, her laughter echoing. For the first time in years, Jack felt tethered, like he belonged somewhere. One morning, Clara called Jack inside. You gave us a future, she said, eyes shining. How do I repay you? Jack shook his head. Raise that girl, right? He said. That's plenty. Emma hugged him, her arms fierce. You'll own back, won't you? She asked. Jack hesitated, then smiled. Maybe, kid. He meant it, though the open road still called to him. The town held a small supper to thank Jack. Tables groaned with food, biscuits, stew, apple pie. Folks clapped him on the back, calling him a good man. Jack felt uneasy with the praise, but stayed for Emma's sake. She sat beside him, beaming. Tom raised a glass. To second chances, he said. Jack nodded, thinking of the family he'd helped save. It felt like a victory. As Jack prepared to leave, Emma ran to him, a braided cord in her hand. For Rusty, she said, tying it to the horse's bridle. Jack ruffled her hair. You're something else, kid. Clara watched from the porch, waving. You're always welcome, she called. Jack tipped his hat, mounting Rusty. The road stretched ahead, but his heart felt heavier than usual. Riding out, Jack glanced back. Emma stood waving, her smile bright. The cabin looked sturdier. A home again. He thought of his own past. Lonely trails, empty nights. Helping Emma and Clara had changed something in him. He wasn't sure what, but it felt good. Rusty snorted as if agreeing. Jack chuckled, urging the horse forward into the vast open plains. Days later, Jack heard from a trader that Redstone was organizing a fund for widows like Clara. The news warmed him, though he was miles away. He pulled Emma's doll from his saddle bag. Its button eyes worn but kind. It reminded him of her trust, her courage. He tucked it back, deciding to keep it close. Some things were worth carrying, even for a drifter. The plain stretched endless, but Jack felt less alone. He thought of Emma's laughter, Clara's gratitude. He'd done something real, something lasting. Maybe he'd return to Redstone one day. See how they were faring. For now, he rode on. The braided cord on Rusty's bridle catching the sunlight. It was a small thing, but it tethered him to a moment that mattered. At night, under a blanket of stars, Jack camped by a creek. He hummed a tune Emma had taught him, simple and sweet. The fire crackled, and Rusty grazed nearby. Jack leaned back, feeling the weight of the doll in his bag. He wasn't a hero, just a man who'd listened to a child's plea. But that was enough. For the first time, the road ahead felt less like running and more like searching. The wind carried the scent of sagebrush, and Jack closed his eyes. He saw Emma's face. Her tears turned to smiles. He'd followed her home and found something. He hadn't known he'd lost purpose. As the stars blinked above, he made a quiet vow. Wherever he went, he'd look out for those like Emma. The world was wide, but some hearts were worth breaking for and mending, too.